everyone. This is Alex from the Drogs blog. I'm joined with former Drogheda midfielder Sean Thornton. Introduce yourself.
How you doing, Alex? You okay?
Yeah.
Keeping well?
Yeah.
Good lad, good lad.
So I just have questions written down by me, and I have some questions from the fans. So will I just start?
Yeah, no problem. Fire away. Yeah.
All right.
I don't know the questions anyway, so they're going to be off the cuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your senior career started in 2001 with Tranmere Rovers, and you played 13 appearances in your first season. How did you find your time there with Tranmere?
Yeah, I loved it because I spent 3 years there in total. Obviously, 2 years apprenticeship, what they call a YPS, and then I turned pro in my third season.
Yeah.
And then I broke into the team just after Christmas. It was about February time, and then obviously then I kept my place in the team, and then clubs came in, and then the opportunity at the end of that season, I think I only made 11 appearances.
Yeah.
And that's when I got the move then to Sunderland after that. Yeah.
So for a school, obviously all started when you were a schoolboy, but who did you play for in your underage career?
Underage in Drogheda, I only played for Boyne Rovers.
Yeah.
And then I moved to Dublin then when I was probably about 10 or 11. I went to St. Kevin's.
Yeah.
And then I moved then St. Kevin's to Hartstown, which is over Blanchardstown.
Yeah.
For a couple of seasons, and then I had 2 years then with Bohemians from 14 to 16 before I went to England.
Yeah. So moving to Sunderland in 2003, and you spent 3 years there. What was your favourite game for the Black Cats and why?
Favourite game. I wouldn't say there's a favourite game that sticks out. Probably it's winning the championship in the second season or the third season. That's probably what sticks out. You know, I've got obviously what most people know about the scoring against Chelsea. That's probably a memory, but we lost the game, so it doesn't stick out as being one of my favourite moments. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'd say the season of winning the championship. But probably the game that sticks out in my mind probably would be the game that we played Rotherham, and I think we won 4-1 as 2 free kicks on the night.
Yeah. He scored 2. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's probably my favourite game. Yeah, because to score 2 free kicks in one game stands out in my head. Yeah.
Yeah. And the goal you scored against Chelsea, what was going through your head after you scored that? Because it was a really good goal.
Nothing really, because I was that young.
Yeah.
You just think that it's just another game.
Yeah, it's just another goal.
Yeah, it's as the older you get, the more you start thinking of matches. And that only came probably in my late 20s, and obviously when I came back when I played with Drogheda. But what sticks out in my mind the most about that game, apart from with the goal, was we took the lead. Then Cat and Cole equalised. Sola made it 2-1. But in the last 2 minutes of the game, we had a free kick right on the edge of the box.
Yeah.
And Kevin Phillips at the time was the main man there. He was golden boot in Europe, never mind just in England. So he was the man on free kicks. So I obviously asked him. I only played a couple of games, and I asked him, could I have it? He gave it to me. I remember I hit the sweet, it was over the wall, hit the post, keeper didn't move. But that always sticks out in my head. It was like I could have equalised. What happened?
You could have equalised.
Yeah.
For 2 great goals.
Could have been 2 goals, yeah. So that stands out in my mind more than the goal.
Yeah. Gary Kelly and Ian Hart all played in Premier League at the same time, and obviously all 3 years are from Drogheda. Did you ever play with them in schoolboy or anything? Because that's a really good coincidence that 3 players from Drogheda played in Premier League at the exact same time.
No, never played again. Yeah, the only kind of dealings, probably the experience that we had with was probably Ian Hart's mum and dad. They would the ones told my parents to go to Dublin.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was at St. Kevin's as well. obviously he was older than me, so
Yeah.
obviously, I can remember them coming around giving us advice, got to go to Dublin, and obviously you get more of a chance then to go abroad.
Yeah. Your debut for Sunderland, coming in the FAI Cup against Bolton Wanderers. What was it like playing for such a huge club when you're so young?
It's madness. There's actually a bit of a story behind this. I've already actually told a couple of people this
Yeah.
story, people
Yeah.
close to me, so I don't do any
Yeah.
social media stuff. So I can tell you how it actually happened. It was Peter Reid signed us.
Yeah.
And when Peter Reid got the sack, I was in there about a month or something like that. So I went out on loan because there was probably 50 odd pros or Sunderland.
Yeah.
I went to Blackpool because I wanted to keep playing football. But my old team manager was the John McMahon, which his brother was Steve McMahon at Blackpool, which to play with Liverpool, won everything, played with England. So anyway, we went there. So I came back. It was about a month later, and we had a reserve match on the Tuesday night, and Howard Wilkinson never seen me play.
Yeah.
Never seen me play. I don't even know if he seen me train. He probably had a little glimpses. Anyway, so we played the Tuesday night. We played in Durham. It was about half an hour gone, and I looked over. There was a substitute, and it was my number.
Yeah.
So I looked over. I think that's strange. And I was playing all right. Nothing special or anything like that. Just having an all right game. So anyway, the reserve manager told me just to go into the dressing room. The gaffer wants to see it.
Yeah.
So the gaffer came down from upstairs, came in. I was sitting there. He says, I remember, I was like it was yesterday. He says to me, he says, "Get yourself a shower." He says, "And get yourself a good night's sleep." He says, "You're playing tomorrow night in the FA Cup."
Bolton.
This was at 19, so I can't even remember what time I went to bed that night. Whatever, just happened. So the next night we played Bolton. We beat them 2-1. If that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Kevin Phillips up for the winner, and then on the Saturday, then I made my Premier League debut away to Everton at Goodison Park. So in the space of a week, just like that, from playing one reserve game. Yeah. So like, I've never really told close people that story. Yeah. So but you need a lucky break as well. So obviously, how the Wilkinson liked what he's saying, and he gave me a chance.
Yeah. You made 20 appearances in the 2003 season and picking up an ankle injury, and reaching the semi-final of the FA Cup and playoff semi-final. Was that a good season for you, would you say?
Bit of both, because it was disappointing because that's obviously we got relegated from the Premier League, and then I was obviously played all the games then to the end of the season, feeling good, come back really fit, and then I done my ligaments, and that kept me in for about 2.5 months. It was a bad one, so I was back in the team, in and out the team and stuff like that. So it was probably the season after when we won the championship. Do you know what I mean? I think it was more or less injury free. But as you said about the FA Cup, there getting to the semi-final, which would I say you need a bit of luck, and this is obviously a bit bad luck to me. What happened? Obviously, you're one game away from playing the FA Cup final. You're going to get a loser's medal because you're playing Man United, because the Man United beat Millwall 4-0, so it doesn't matter. But just to be able to say that, played it. So I've always been a Man United fan all my life. So the game was at Old Trafford. But that weekend, I'm sure the game was a Sunday, yeah. So we travelled down on the Friday. So we actually usually just travel down one night before a game because it was so big. The manager wanted to stay for 2 nights, but I happened to get ill on the Friday.
Yeah, on the bus.
But I was playing in the team.
Yeah.
So I happened to get ill. So I remember I didn't travel down with them. So the club doctor had to bring me down the next day. So he had to come and see how I was and stuff like that. So he brought me down the next day. So the manager obviously spoke to me, says, "Oh, I'm not gonna I'm not going to play because you're in this. But I was fuming, but I was saying to him, I'm ready. But he happened to put McAteer back in the team, Jason McAteer,
Yeah, Jason McAteer.
which they were good friends. They've only been to the World Cup a year before it,
Yeah.
a year and a half before it.
Yeah.
And then Jason McAteer happened to get sent off in the game.
Yeah.
So he basically killed us in that game anyway. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
we were 10 men down. And I remember I think he only brought us on for no more than 5 minutes. So I was fuming as well. And we had a couple of free kicks. Remember John Ost at the time had a couple of free kicks, and one he hit the bar, and I was thinking if I could have played. But that's a disappointment. So I see a bit of luck. I got ill before we were travelling there. So he would have never definitely changed the team. Mick McCarthy was like that. He would have kept the Saxon team. He only made one change, and that was me from McAteer because I was ill. So that was disappointing as well, yeah.
You moved to Doncaster Rovers in 2005, making 36 appearances in your first year. How was your time there?
Yeah, I love Doncaster, yeah. Took me a while to settle in.
Yeah.
I had to come up from a big club from Sunderland, do you know what I mean? And to take the drop, but I just thought at the time, do you know what I mean? You need another 10, 15 minutes time to tell the whole story of why I left Sunderland and that. But yeah, it wasn't easy to start off with. Traveling a lot, traveling down, and then I ended up moving down. But once I got an injury again, I think it was my ankle again. But anyway, then got myself fit, got on the team, and then not long after that, then we played Aston Villa that night, which we got to the quarterfinals of the Carling Cup. We got Arsenal, and then in the quarterfinals they beat us. I think it was extra time, and but I enjoyed it. Really good place. I like the people. Yeah.
You also played for Leyton Orient, Shrewsbury Town, Aberystwyth Town, Conwy Borough and Bala Town before coming to Drogheda. What made you come to Drogheda?
Well, I always wanted to come home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But going back there to Leyton Orient, Leyton Orient was probably the most I ever enjoyed my football.
Yeah.
I had 3 years there. It was in Essex, London. Love living there. Bear in mind, people don't see it when you're football and you're moving a lot of places. It's hard. Your family comes. You have to settle.
Yeah.
But I think I was about 27 when I joined. About 27.
Yeah.
And they say you're 27, 28 is your peak as a footballer.
Yeah.
So I felt my peak. I probably played my best football. But you wouldn't get recognised as much because it's League One.
Yeah.
But I knew personally they were my best years in football.
Yeah.
Best 3 years. So I loved it, yeah. But then I left that, then we moved back onto the Wirral, which is Merseyside.
Yeah.
Spoke to a couple of clubs. Then I ended up playing in the Welsh League. But it was time to come home.
Yeah.
I wanted to come home. My family wanted to come home. My son wanted to come home.
Yeah.
But when I did come home, there was only one thing I wanted to do was play with Drogheda.
Play for Drogheda.
Only one thing. In football, through your career, that doesn't happen. You don't say, I want to play for this, because it just happens. If people are interested, they sign you, then you move, whatever. But the only thing I had in my head when I come home, I want to sign for Drogheda United. And that was the only thing,
Coming to Drogs in 2015 and leaving in 2017, making a total of 67 appearances in league and cup games after Leyton Orient, scoring 11 goals in your time. You became a fan favourite around the town. How did that make you feel?
Yeah. Proud.
Yeah.
Proud. Which I appreciate as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I came home to fight it because we were struggling the full season. So I wasn't just coming home to play, just to take part basically and just enjoy the last couple of years of playing football and stuff and like that. Wanted to give it all. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, like I said, we had ups and downs anyway. Like getting relegated and going back up. But no, it's probably like if you ask similar to the question, what would probably be if it's not your proudest, but what meant the most to you in my career.
Yeah.
And when I say this to people, some people actually laugh because I'm always joking about and always have a bit of banter. It's hard to get me serious.
Yeah.
And I'd say Drogheda, and
Yeah.
they'd look at me waiting for a bit of banter. But that meant the most to me. Like you could say with Sunderland, like I'd like winning the championship with Sunderland back to the Premiership.
Yeah.
Doncaster Rovers, we won the Johnson's Paint Trophy against Bristol Rovers. That was just under 60,000 was at the game.
Yeah.
Like they're big things, but playing with Drogheda sticks it's the most proudest I've been,
Yeah. And then 2016 we obviously beat Cove in the semi-final of the playoff, and then lost 2-0 away to Wexford in the final first leg. Then the second leg came, and then you scored the winner. Were you nervous before the game, or were you calm? And what was it like after the game?
It's mad because you've asked Sean near enough the same question.
Yeah.
And he actually he exactly said kind of like what I'm answered. Like there was no nerves. There was no nerves. He actually said what he said. I played the first leg.
Yeah.
We trained on the Wednesday before the game. I got a bit of a knock. I think it was a dead leg. It was from shooting or something like that. He said an ankle. I think it was my ankle. It was a dead leg.
Yeah.
I went over and spoke to him. Before I spoke to the manager, I said to him, I says, get yourself ready. He says, you'll be playing Friday.
Yeah.
He says, what's up with you? So I told him I got a bit of a knock. Then I went and spoke to the manager. But anyway, there was no nerves anyway. So I can remember him saying, like kind of predicting year come.
Yeah.
What I basically, but it's more, them words, what he said is right, but I added a little bit extra on that, what I did say. I said to him, there's a thing, you could play a couple of hundred games in your career, you could play whatever, how many, but it's what you do in them games and be remembered for. How you made an impact. Do you know what I was saying? They say big players show up for big games. So I said to him, I says, go and make yourself, like apart from what he said, I says, go and make yourself a legend.
Yeah.
In Rotterdam.
And then he scored the first.
Be remembered, I said. Be remembered, because people remember. And it's mad because 2016, people talk about 4 years later. So it sticks out, and just happening enough.
Yeah.
He did score the first goal. But see what you said about the penalty there.
Yeah.
I was obviously the penalty taker. And I do actually get nervous to taking a penalty.
Yeah, of course.
You always get that little bit.
Yeah.
And I always, I don't know if you're probably a bit too young, but I went for the same spot.
Yeah.
Every time, keepers left.
Yeah.
And every time I scored.
Yeah.
But that night, I didn't even think, there was no nervousness. I was just, I basically just couldn't wait to put the ball down and put it in. I was that confident that I was going to the keepers left with pace.
Yeah.
So I didn't have nerves. It was mad. It was mad. I don't know why. Yeah. It's strange, especially being 2-0 off, and it's a big deal.
Yeah.
If you miss, do you know what I mean? It's still level and stuff like that. But there wasn't any nerves,
Yeah.
But every other penalty before that, there had been,
Yeah. And then after the match, what was it like? The celebrations, and what were you feeling like?
Yeah, it was unbelievable. Yeah, like I said, like it's still this sticks out to me like a sore thumb that night because it's one of my memorable moments, proudest moments, just for the town. Do you know what I mean? Because still to this day, it doesn't matter. Somebody your age, or could have a man in his 60s, 70s, somebody my own age. They'll mention that night. Yeah. And it's mad. They still talk about it. But anyway, that night, I know Sean said they had a bit of a crazy night that night. I happened to be off the drink.
Yeah.
So I happened to be off. I think it was nearly 4 months. So I actually had my brother over from England, his missus, all my family there. My missus missed it because she was walking. My son, my nephews, and they were all in the pub next door. So I didn't even have a pint.
Yeah.
But the next night, we went down to the wards, and they were all looked like they were under the influence still from that day, blah, blah, blah. So I had a few beers that night and enjoyed it with them, yeah.
So then in 2017, obviously it was your last year at the club and you got relegated. What was What were your feelings like getting relegated?
Because I left halfway through the season.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
so that's I've got no
yeah.
memory.
Yeah.
Like not no memory. They got relegated, but I didn't take part
Yeah.
like the other half of the season. So, but I didn't enjoy that one bit, that half a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think a lot of people have talked about it. It wasn't good.
Yeah.
It,
Yeah.
and that comes down, and that all boils down to the management staff.
Yeah. Yeah.
The likes of, you think the players that come in, you probably the best, the quality was the Trotter I had, but since I've been known, and he probably is, but you Killian signed,
Yeah. Killian signed.
you'd Gavin,
Yeah.
you had Sean,
Yeah.
you had myself.
Yeah.
So
Loads.
there's four players Trotter which that's probably unheard of anyway.
Yeah.
Probably never happened.
Yeah.
They just it didn't go well with with manager, the system manager, Pete Mann obviously, and John Gill was the system manager at the time, which he was clashing with a lot of players, myself included.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I've came across assistant managers can be a little bit sometimes, like, do you know what I mean? But you've come across a few people in football that, they can be a bit of, I can't say it like on camera,
Yeah.
bit of a pain. That's probably the nicest way, being polite. But with him, I've never came across anybody like that football. He was actually, the word to describe him, he's actually poison.
Yeah.
He was poison for the club.
Yeah.
And that's what he was. So he was controlling everything, and behind the scenes, and he was upsetting players in a bad way, which I won't put a sour note on the interview for you. But John Gill, he was poison, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you've obviously played against some huge names in football, like Gianfranco Zola, Colaccini. But who was the best you have played against?
Two. Why, the easiest question I'd have to answer tonight would be Thierry Henry and Dennis Bergkamp. Yeah.
That's mad
Two
that you
legends.
played against them two players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two geniuses, yeah. Well, Bergkamp was a genius. Henry was just a goal scoring machine. Yeah. So yeah, they're the ones that stick out like a sore thumb again.
And who was the best player you've ever played with?
The best player I played with would be Kevin Phillips. What he's done in the game, and like I said, having a golden boot in Europe and banging 20 goals for so many years in the Premiership year after year.
Yeah.
So he would be the most high profile, and but as ability wise, you probably wouldn't know him, a lad called Jason Kumas.
I think I've heard of him, yeah.
Yeah, he moved on to West Brom and
and
Wigan and that.
Yeah.
But his ability was unbelievable. I've never seen anybody come close to him.
Yeah.
This is like training with him every day, just left foot, right foot, balance, skill, score goals, except pieces. He was frightening, I could say.
Yeah. So I've heard about this, but is it true that after the game against Chelsea, when you scored that volley, that Gianfranco Zola gave you a shirt after? Is that true?
Yeah, that's a true.
Yeah.
That's a true story. I got a bit of a bollocking.
Yeah.
As well, because how the story went, it was basically after the game, after having the defeat. So the layout of the Sunderland dressing room was hard to explain. So Mick McCarthy's there to me, right? Obviously talking well around him. But Kevin Ball, who used to be the club captain for Sunderland in the late 90s and that, he happened to call me over. So I shouldn't have left, but I had to leave because I was told to come. So as I walked out, I walked out of the dressing room and then took a right. Soul is standing at the door with a shirt in his hand,
Yeah.
and he's asked me for my shirt.
Yeah.
So obviously, I took the shirt, said thank you, whatever I said, which I can't remember because it was obviously a big deal for him to do that.
Yeah.
Then I come back in, and then Mick McCarthy's talking in his his
Team talk.
chat, team talk and that, and he's saying to people, you should be wearing this red and white shirt with pride and not giving away your jersey and stuff like that. But I'd say a couple of the players had the jersey, swap jerseys anyway. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, he got told the story what happened a few minutes later, and he apologised. He said sorry, he didn't know what happened. So that was the story with Sola. Yeah.
So you also played under.
He was alright as a player, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
I
also
think he
played
finished his career at Drogheda United as well.
I wish.
Yeah.
So you played underage for the Republic of Ireland as well. You played under 16s, 18s, 19s, and 21. How proud were you to wear the green jersey?
Yeah, massively proud. Yeah, just obviously just bit gutted that he never got that
Yeah, senior.
cap.
Yeah.
I was on standby once the year we were in the Premiership.
Yeah.
And then we got relegated, and all the players were coming in the team were like household Premiership names. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now you're up against the likes of Keane, obviously Matty Holland and that. So I never got the chance again. And then once you probably still would have still had a round of a chance when you were still in the Championship of Sunderland. But once you drop out of that, and when I went to Doncaster, you played League One football.
Yeah.
You've got no chance.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Unless you're the only way I'd say, unless you're a striker and you're banging 20 plus goals in, and you might get a call up. But for midfield, it's mission impossible. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, after Drogheda, you went non-league for a few clubs, and then you retired. What was your favourite club you ever played at of your whole career?
The whole career.
Yeah.
Even when I finished playing with Drogheda United.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's mad, like people to probably but people that know me again that know the answer. What I played with Rathmullen and Celtic when I finished.
Yeah, after Drogheda, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Just froze there.
Yeah, you're frozen out a minute.
Oh, can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Back there, yeah. Can you hear me? You froze. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
All right. Yeah, I can hear you now, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but you're completely frozen though.
Oh, 1 second.
Okay. Yeah, you're coming back a bit there now, yeah.
All right.
A little bit.
All right. There. Am I back now? Can you hear me?
Not really, no.
All right. It's saying that your network is low.
I can hear you. I can hear you a tiny bit.
Yeah. One second. It's saying that your internet is. Say your network bandwidth is low. Hear me all right now?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can just hear you saying that, but you're completely more or less frozen.
Oh. 1 second.
Or just a little delay.
So obviously, Rathmullen, you were saying.
Yeah, but basically, well, look, what it was when I first come home, my closest mate that I had before I went to England was Robbie McDonald.
Yeah.
he happened to start off at Mullen Celtic 2 years before I joined. But I happened to be, he was the manager, I was the coach. So when I was playing with Drogheda United, I was the coach. I'd done the training
Yeah.
and obviously went to as much matches as I could.
Yeah.
But then I said if I was still fit enough and injury free that I'd play when I finished with Drogheda United. So when I finished with Drogheda United that in July, their season was just starting, and we happened to go on and play the whole season, and we ended up winning the league.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a big deal for him.
Yeah.
And myself, you know what I mean? So yeah. But then the year later, then that season, then the team folded.
Did it?
Yeah, folded. Just played like it happens all the time in Drogheda, doesn't it? Everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the time. But as I say, we went out to the top and we won the league. We done something, and I happened. I'm old as I've ever played football. I happened to only miss one game.
Yeah.
I played 30-odd games that season.
Yeah.
And considering I was nearly getting smashed every week by people trying to smash you, and I stayed injury free.
Yeah.
Scored 20-odd goals in that season, 27, 28, which obviously the standard is not great, so you should be expected to do that. But anyway, yeah. So that was a good one. But professionally, professional wise, it would have to be Leighton Orient, as I spoke to you before. My best football I played, week in, week out. Loved living in London, Essex.
Yeah.
The manager at the time, Grant Williams. There was 3 managers I actually had, but Grant Williams was probably my personal favourite manager I've had in my whole career.
Yeah.
Which no, he is. He's not probably. He is. So I played under a manager that for a good year or so, year and a half, that I loved playing under. So, and it's true, managers can bring the best out of players.
Yeah.
And man management is so key in football.
Yeah.
And they can deal with players, and everybody's different. Everybody's personality is different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You've got some people, like I know people say, some people need to be told off. Some people like go into the shell a little bit, but it's different ways they deal with them off the pitch. You know what I mean? And what people don't see in that. But no, he was unbelievable. Grant Williams is his name. He was a Welsh international. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I seen you at the Shelbourne game last year, Shelbourne against Drogheda. But have you went to any other games since retiring?
I have done.
Yeah.
I have. I said one thing. I'll go back to Drogheda United when no longer Pete Matton and John Gill is in charge for the club.
Yeah.
So that season, obviously they got relegated. They were gone. So no way I went up. I must have seen last season. Good, I'd say about 12, 13 games.
That's good, yeah.
But I enjoyed it. But do you know what I mean? They weren't there. I won't get into the story proper, any negativity, and get into it where I left, because at the time I shouldn't have left.
Yeah.
And that was disappointing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when they were gone and they were completely away from the club, then I started going back and watch. And like I said, Sean is a close mate of mine.
Yeah.
So and he actually probably played his best football this season.
Yeah, he's done well.
Yeah. It's probably he was scoring a lot of goals and stuff like that. Yeah. And he's a liar. He's a close mate, but he doesn't speak to me every other day.
Yeah.
He
said that.
Yeah. No, I watched the whole lot. No, I do speak to him. No, he's a good friend. Yeah. Good lad.
So
cuts me hair now.
Yeah. He does mine as well. Yeah. Most kids my age want to be a professional footballer, but how do you play at the level that you played at, like Sunderland? How do you get there?
What did you say before that? You wanted it as well? Is that what you said?
Yeah, most kids my age want to become a professional footballer. What's the best advice you can give them to get to like the level you played at?
Dedication.
Yeah.
And hunger, belief.
Yeah.
You have to be selfish.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I look back, I made like I would have never had a drink till I was nearly 18.
Yeah.
So when all my mates, which mates were going out and they were drinking and smoking and stuff like that, I was just football. I'm obsessed. Obsessed is probably the best word.
Yeah.
You have to be obsessed with it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
practice all the time. It's no coincidence that I always say, like, it's no coincidence that I used to bang free kicks in and want to be the practice.
Yeah.
I practice for hours after training. And when people say hours, I actually did at Tranmere Rovers when I was a youth team player and when I was a first year pro. I would literally have 2 bags of balls and practice for an hour and a half to 2 hours, 10 balls in each bag.
Yeah.
And then we weren't lucky enough to have nets behind the goal back then. So apart from the balls that I scored was in the net, then I'd have to go walk all the way down, get my balls, bring practice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'd always say as well, don't believe in any negativity.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's always somebody out there that will always try to put you down.
Yeah.
And there's always jealous people. Do you get me?
Yeah. Yeah.
As I said, there's always the 2 biggest killers of life is one is cancer and the second is jealousy.
Yeah.
Which kills people. So what I'm trying to say to you is, along your way, don't let anybody be.
Yeah.
There will be.
Yeah.
Yeah. As I say, if you're good at something, people are going to hate.
People are going to hate you. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're not good, they're not going to be bothered about what you do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, just be obsessed.
Yeah.
And practice. Practice that same thing as you're the goalkeeper, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Practice that same thing. The basics.
Yeah.
What people haven't got, and most people haven't got, is the basics in sport.
Yeah.
Once you've got the basics, and you can do them 9 times out of 10,
then you'll be able to.
Yeah. It's like you see in football, people try to
the
30-yard, the 40-yard pass. Yeah.
Just get
it comes off once or twice out of 5 goals, yeah. And it looks probably all right, like, yeah. But these 10-yard passes, 15-yard passes, it looks simple when people make it look simple. Yeah, but when people make it look simple, like your Javi's in the nest, Iniesta's, Paul Scott. It looks simple, but it's not. But they're the basics: touch, pass. Yeah. So that's my advice onto that.
Yeah.
But come back onto the thing when I said I didn't drink till I was 18.
Yeah.
I made off for anyway over the years, so I didn't lose out. So you get the benefits later on in life then, yeah.
Yeah. Who made you become a midfielder, and who was your idol growing up as a child?
Idol was Keane.
Yeah.
And then Beckham.
Yeah.
So Keane as in just as that nastiness.
Yeah.
And go back onto the basics.
Yeah.
Of just touch, pass, never lose the ball, tackling.
Yeah.
But then when on the Beckham, his free kicks.
Free kicks, yeah.
Yeah, and that long blonde hair. I wanted to be like Beckham. Do you get me? Copying him, the boots and all. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's just a little bit better looking though. Just a little bit.
Obviously, Droghera's your hometown. So how proud were you to wear the claret and blue jersey, and why make you so proud?
Yeah, it's hard to put it in the words of what it is. I don't know if I was getting older. I was 32, and like I said, I was more nervous and going into Drogheda United games than I was going into packed stadiums.
Yeah. Yeah.
I felt like all eyes were on me because I was coming back from England.
Yeah.
obviously I'm older, so I can't do as much as I could do. Do you know, that kind of way? But that gave me the more dedication. Do you know, not dedication. Just I knew. Look, as much as people are nice and Drogheda and blah blah blah, but it's not just Drogheda. But people like to see you fail.
Yeah.
So I know there would have been a lot of people like to see you play about 5 or 6 games, be about 2 stone overweight.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Not taking it serious. You know what I mean? So I took it really serious, and I said, and that night will always stick in my memory. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So now I have a few fans.
Sorry? Oh, yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I have a few fans questions now. So the first one is, do you think your son will follow in your footsteps and become a footballer?
He likes playing football.
Yeah.
But he was a late starter. He started when he was about 11, stuff like that. But he enjoys it. It's a hobby. But come back onto what I said to you before. If you're gonna make it, you have to be obsessed. He's not obsessed.
Yeah.
Like when we were younger, we obsessed. Like we'd have a ball in the hand, walking everywhere.
Yeah.
We'd play football after school.
Yeah.
Till it was dark. So that's the difference.
Yeah.
And go back onto that, we would have said that no, he won't. He enjoys just playing football. Do you know what I mean? And he never said he wanted to become a footballer. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, go back onto you there when I said a bit about obsessed, but believe that in your head that you're going to become it.
That you're gonna, yeah.
Yeah, believe that you're, like I said, you believe you're going to be a professional goalkeeper in your head.
Yeah.
If it doesn't happen,
it
doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But at least you tried. But believe that.
Yeah.
You should try your hardest and do all the right things. Yeah.
So what was the best season you had in football and why?
Probably still go back onto Leighton Orient, yeah.
Yeah.
We came
made nearly 100 appearances for them.
Was it?
You made nearly 100 appearances for them.
Right. And it's mad because when I came into Leighton Orient were kind of
Lower
they were fighting for relegation for the last so many seasons. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when I came in that first year, there was a few good signings actually. We were top of the league at Christmas. And I don't know when we were knocked off top of the league anyway. I don't know if it's February, March. So anyway, we went on this mad run, but we were good.
Yeah.
It wasn't luck, you know what I mean? We had a good squad, good manager, yes. But that's probably, yeah.
Yeah. Do you miss playing for Drogheda and football in general?
No. I'm completely finished. And I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
Because all the pros used to say to me, you'll know the day when you're completely finished. But what I did is to myself there just before the lockdown is I was obviously him and Han and whether to play and stuff like that. And Danny Garland is the manager of the league.
Yeah.
So I'll make a long story short here. So he was asking me to come out. So it was 50-50 about it. So what I did is anyway, I went and bought myself some running gear because I hadn't done anything for about 6 months prior to that. So I went out training by myself for 2.5 weeks to get myself to a little bit of a level of fitness, which I'm not fit now anyway.
Yeah.
I went out after 2.5 weeks, went training that night, Tuesday, Wednesday night, what it was. Came in, home, March time.
Yeah.
And I said to the family, says, that's it, I'm done.
Yeah.
Why I did that was because I didn't want to have that question. Should I have played on for another year or another 2 years? But you know what the thing is as well, Alex? It's my health as well. Because if I get a bad injury now.
Yeah, and you're older.
I'm older. I haven't got, it's not like I'll be with a physio every day.
Yeah, exactly.
Getting the proper treatment and
so you're not playing.
And I'm a housewife as well. I stay at home. Do you know what I mean? So who be doing all the washing up?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? No, but mainly on a serious note, it's one of the main reasons as well as for for my health. Don't want to get a bad injury or something like that.
Yeah. Because like you're not playing like professional, you're playing non-league. Like you can't get a physio, you can't get like a doctor every day with you. You can't really recover that well from it if you're like old.
No. And your body doesn't recover the same as when you're young.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
just as well. And not even along financially wise as well. Could you imagine? It's £50 a
Yeah.
physio every like
Yeah.
it's all them things as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it like playing in the stadium of like such a big stadium, and you were so young playing in it as well? What was it like?
You're bringing all the years back to all memories. They're all coming into my head. It's mad. Yeah. Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
When I look as it like you're playing, a hole's 48,000.
Yeah.
Near enough. Even in the championship,
Yeah.
you're still getting 40, 43, 44,000.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But then again, I go back. I was young, so
Yeah.
I didn't really. Yeah, and you don't really hear what's going on around you unless is a goal, a good chance, and stuff like that. But once to answer your question, but I only started looking back at my career probably in the last few months, and memories have come back to me. So to play in front of 46, 47, 48,000 week in, week out was amazing. Yeah.
What was it like playing with Sean Brennan?
Oh, who I speak to every other day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah, I enjoyed it with Sean. Yeah.
Was he a good player?
Well, I thought, but like, do you know what? I was kind of like think in my head you were probably going to ask even who was probably the best player at Drogheda.
Yeah, at Drogheda, yeah.
And I said, and I would say Sean.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think even Sean started coming into his own then.
Yeah.
Then, like obviously last season, and then do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Sean's got the basics right.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he wouldn't very rarely give the ball away.
Yeah. Yeah.
His passing is on point.
Yeah.
He obviously good at set plays.
Yeah.
Doesn't miss a penalty, but the thing is we've got there's a few quid riding on this. I hope on every week he scores a penalty, but I'm hoping I've got to bet that he's going to miss one. He's got a special technique that I can't give away, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But he also tries the 200-yard passes now and again, which don't come on. Because if you're watching this, Shawnee. I'll be probably speaking to him later, because I didn't speak to him yesterday.
This is the last question.
He'd be the best player I played at Drogheda. Yeah.
So this is the last question. What made you be able to have such a long career? What made you be able to play for so long?
It's mad because obviously I'd be good cop, bad cop as well. Do you know what I mean? So I wouldn't have been. It's not dedication, but do you know what I mean? I've enjoyed my nights out, and I still enjoy a night out. But I can also switch it on and off, where I can go off, not go drinking for 3 or 4 months at a time and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just because that's all I knew.
Yeah.
That's all I knew. Like, but some people make me laugh as well because they still say, "But why are you still not playing?" I'm 27.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? It's like there's certain players who keep going. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think personally, if everybody knows there wasn't much money at Drogheda United.
Yeah.
So you're basically playing for the love of the club.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And that's everybody knows that. So, but if there was enough of money to keep you going, and like kind of enough to, as I say, bring the bread home, I probably would have pushed it probably another year or so with that. But I thought I'd done my thing. It was basically you were basically playing for Drogheda for the love of the club. You weren't playing. You weren't playing for money.
Yeah, exactly. Like some of the clubs, like say Liverpool or even in Ireland like Shamrock Rovers and Cork. Most of the players don't play for the love of the club. They just play because they're earning a good wage. Like they wouldn't play because of that. But at
Yeah.
Drogheda, you don't earn like a huge wage, so you have to play for the love of the club.
And when you say a huge wage, it's little and very, very, very little. If actually it costs you money to play with Drogheda United.
Yeah.
Your wages are spent as soon as you go to the pub after the game
Yeah.
on a Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, but some players do. But the thing is, I've obviously played all my life. It's always been a job to me. I'm like, but
Yeah.
I never classed it as a job.
Yeah.
Playing in England, it was you were playing, and then obviously you were getting paid, but you never looked at the first time I ever classed football as a job. It was actually when I played for Drogheda United.
Yeah.
Because you were getting next to nothing, so it was actually a job.
Yeah.
Do you get me?
Yeah.
So that's the first time I experienced football as actually a job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks for your time. That's all we have time
No,
for. Thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it.
no, thanks very much, mate.
Yeah.
No.
Thank you.